Hey guys, ThinkTank here. Want to cover another fun Spartan build. A lot of times when in a four-man team, you'll find yourself in a position where LF has no Patriot. Or the Patriot they do have wants to do something besides run infantry. And that's the point when you're faced with the question of, can I do an Orion capture, an Orion RP infantry capture? Or is that just kind of unfeasible? I've played around with it quite a bit and developed what I call Orion Firebase, which essentially is the idea that Orions can capture the mid RP point, but they've got to rely on two critical components. One is turrets that pack a punch and can defend and assist the Orions in defending against Pathfinders, because that's typically who will be contesting the zone, right? The second is those turrets themselves need to be protected from C4 detonate. A good pathy player can, split pathies around your turret, throw a bunch of C4, and it's all gone. So that's what's led me to create this build. Covering this build, first thing I have, again similar to the last video, is the Hellbent. This build has a Hellbent for only one reason: to disable C4 detonatability for 5 seconds on the Pathfinders and protect the two Shiva turrets here in the turret loadout. That's it. Doesn't really camp any victory points. Not using them for defensive capture. Really just vision and emplacement. This particular unit in this build, the idea was given to me by Ariel. Second unit in the mix, obviously, is the Orion. The Orion in recent builds has been upgraded with offensive capture rate, so he's quite capable of capturing points expediently. Additionally, this unit serves as the anti-air unit for this company. So the idea here is you move the Hellbent in the center of the RPs, deploy the Shiva turrets directly behind the Hellbent. However, in a manner that can reach as many infantry points as possible. So you can actually deploy these two Shiva turrets in positions where they can cover both the church and estate on resource hog. Finally, third component is kind of multi-purpose. Its first purpose is anti-infantry AoE. So this unit protects the turrets and the Hellbent in the center of the map from Pathy C4 detonate. The reason why I chose Helios is because the AoE is large enough, and it's going to prevent Pathys from staying in the area. If SR wants to push into this loadout once it's fully deployed in the center of a map, they're literally talking about charging into Orion slow and two Shiva turrets with 2 button up. So it's not really a wise engagement without some type of long range unit or anti-turret tech like Marauder or something, right? Even so, if you hit them with the slow and the Shiva turrets land a few blows, it's going to be devastating. So with that, let me go into use of this company. Again, I'll go ahead and demonstrate on Widow's Wall. So, just to state the obvious, if you can do Acer Cap, by all means do it. This is capable, but it's kind of micro-intensive and delicate. And you've got to get those Shiva turrets built, which is not the easiest thing. They take a little while. Almost time to deploy here. Alrighty, so at the start of a map, your first objective is to get to the point at which you want to deploy the Shiva turrets. I want to move my company real quick. So right off the bat, you'll change the Helios to engines. And once deployed, you'll then sprint them to the central RP zone, or infantry zone, as close to it as possible. Once they're in place, you'll immediately drop the Shiva turrets. Actually, the cool thing about these Shiva turrets is if you build them in a certain way, let me show you.
User in your channel timed out.
Put them right next to each other with the Hellbent in front. And there you go. You put this in the center of some infantry zones and you'll have quite a bit of coverage, and it's going to be ugly if folks try to push into it. Once these Shiva turrets are complete, I'll see if I can aggro some units into it. Again, if the structures are still building and you're being attacked, just button up. Okay, so go ahead and take a look at the range on this. Don't forget to hotkey your turrets. And this will be essentially self-sustaining. So then you really just contest the infantry RPs and work out of the center. It's all a game of baiting. That initial shot you saw from the Hellbent will prevent C4 detonate for 5 seconds. And you don't even really have to move the Helios unless you want to. And that, for the most part, concludes this demo. I guess, just to recap, you have a Hellbent for C4 denial, 2 Shiva turrets, which pack the punch out of the center, positioned so they can cover both infantry zones, 2 Helios, which are merely Pathfinder deterrents, so they don't hang out in the area, and then whatever mixed number of Orions you want to provide the offensive capture rate that's acceptable. Contest those infantry RP zones. Hope this has been helpful, and thanks for watching.